I'm a good chunk behind in my Black Clover review. I mean, like a chapter and somewhat and a half, but I'm about to have my schedule hopefully back on track in the next couple weeks. So I'll do my best to get everything as regular in putting out content as I can. So everything around this chapter, I mean, I will say, like, before even getting into the content, before I even get into like talking about, you know, the events of the chapter, I will say that for the most part, not a ton happened. Because like I understand where like the stuff with Yami and Noct might be moving forward and doing stuff with them, but you got to think of like in the context of like everything that's going on right now. Like only a handful of things have like occurred in the last chunk of the chapter since Lucifaro came out, because it's mostly just been him bodying people. Like when you go back and look over the last handful of chapters, though again I've enjoyed them, like we haven't had a ton of progression of overall events. Like we're probably at a point where in real time the last 5 to 6 chapters were probably like in the span of like a minute and a half. Like it's probably one of those scenarios. But the Noct and Yami fusion spells I thought were cool. I mean they were neat. I mean, but the shadow clones and really everything they did, I didn't see anything that would be that much of a threat to Lucifaro. Because you think like combining shadow and dark, like I get the synergy. I get how they combine together. You know, that just makes complete sense. But it's like you think that they would have some like really crazy ability to pull out in combination to fight Lucifaro. Maybe they'll pull out something soon, because obviously Yami and Noct are both way stronger, way more powerful than, you know, the last time they teamed up. So combining that plus like Hack's abilities and stuff, maybe they'll get something that'll be more tricky for Lucifaro. I think. I don't know. I think maybe Tabata doesn't want to give them anything like that right now, because Lucifaro should just be able to just nope it. Like is like any like outrageously complicated crazy Hack's ability, I would assume that it would mean it's either going to land or the opponent is going to have a way to deal with it, just because it's like, well, how else is it like the transition between those, you know, those characters, that ability and what's going on gonna go down. So the stuff with Zora, I mean, I was hyped with Zora. I understand, you know, he uses the runes to absorb it and he's able to pretty much just hold his power for a short brief period of time. I don't have any like, I know some people had some negative opinions on it. I don't think anything was too crazy because I didn't really hear too much about it after the spoilers. I will say I liked that it was done in a way, like I liked that it was done in a way that it's like a short period. It's not the focus. We know that it's going on, but it's not something we have to really see. And we know that the peasant runes are more prep related versus like, you know, their actual kind of like level set skills. It's not like they have to only be capable of what, you know, the person's level that made them. We know that they're way more kind of like it's like code, but with magic. You know, it depends way more on like how complicated you make it and how complex you make it. But he pretty much just does it in a way, obviously, to absorb the power, to pretty much be able to bat back at Lucifaro for a brief period of time. I do really like how the runes looked on its body in the panel. It looked really nice, just the art style I was a big fan of. The cool black moon with the hands coming out of it, that looks very badass. But besides that, like, I like their move, but it wasn't anything, again, that, like, outstanding. I didn't see their whole, like, kids playground and think, like, wow, this is, like, some really crazy technique that people are going to do with. Like, if you imagine them in a combo, besides, like, you know, obviously, like, 2 characters with all their abilities and stuff, like, this is really, like, this move really is just make some shadow clones. Useful, but, like, how much is it really going to do here? And I would assume in most scenarios, because it's like, if somebody is so much of a threat that Noct and Yami have to team up, I would assume shadow clones aren't going to be too much of a threat to them. Like, they're probably just going to be like, what is this? And that's pretty much what Lucifaro is doing. He's just swatting them away and doing nothing. You got Noct using some of his animal combinations, Canis and Felis. And then Lucifaro is getting jumped by Yami, who's doing like extra big attacks, and they're just doing stuff, just doing like these big moves. I wonder what the coincidence that the wound, like the little bruise that Lucifaro got, looked like a Clover, because like
One, I wonder how like that slash would have really made that kind of mark, or like what exactly like would have went down to make it in this shape. Because it doesn't look as much like a Clover in the second panel, but it definitely does in the first one. It might just be Tabata doing, things to reference the series. But afterward, Lucifaro, he's like upset because it's it's like a potential that he can be defeated. It's not that he's going to lose here. It's like just the idea of them having the capabilities we knew already upset him. But now he's like gone from enraged, crazy killer to like calm and like collected serial killer kind of vibe. And he's like, I acknowledge you guys, and I'm gonna kill pretty much everybody that you know, everybody around you, everybody that's like in the kingdoms and whatnot. And that's when everything's kind of getting revved up. And we have Asta, Noctiami, pretty cool pair ups for sure, up against Lucifaro. I don't know what that's really gonna do, considering like they couldn't even take Lucifaro like before this weird form where he gets a little bit more pointy. But like they can take him then, so like what's their hope now? Like what's their plan? Granted, there's more of them now, but it's like none of them are fresh. None of them are really that capable right now. They're beaten up. Asta obviously is beaten to hell. The only one out there that I'd say like I'd have more confidence in really is just because has the whole high magic regeneration thing. You can just kind of like get traces of magic from other people's spells and stuff in the air. So like has like the whole recovery thing, but I don't really know what the rest of the characters are gonna really do that are out there, because I don't think any of their attacks are really gonna be that effective. And the only thing we know that's gonna work is anti-magic, but it's like, are they going to set up some way to hurt him with anti-magic? But at that point, like, what's Tabata gonna do with Lucifaro moving forward? Like, what's his plan gonna be after this? Would it be like something where Asta wounds him and he has to go recover, and that only buys time for the other characters? I don't know. Like I could easily see something like that, and then Aldramalik steps in and he's like, okay, I actually have to do stuff. Maybe he pushes everybody back and then takes Lucifaro, and Lucifaro has to get healed and get fixed up. I don't know. There's definitely some mysteries in there. Really intriguing stuff when it comes to the biggest thing for me when it came to the Lucifaro battle right now is what exactly is going to be the plot turning point where we see Lucifaro leave or characters get out of there, because they can't stay there. And unless they defeat Lucifaro, there has to be a way for them to escape. Otherwise, he's going to kill everybody. So we'll see. This chapter, I didn't have a ton to say. I liked it. I didn't love it. I enjoyed it, but I thought it was way more of a setup chapter just to get those guys at the very end. Get that Lucifaro form where his horns get a little pointier. His horns get like thicker. He gets pointier shoulders and stuff, and then his like darkness gown turns into like a darkness pair of shorts. I don't know. Either way, comment below. Thumbs up the video, prefer like, but subscribe and check out my other videos. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you all for listening. Bye.